question. The Milwaukee, we're going to talk about Giannis in a minute. The Milwaukee Bucks went 38 years between Kareem leaving and Giannis arriving. By total points, who scored the most points for the Milwaukee Bucks in the interim?
I feel like Wendy on this one. I was thinking about, of course, the Ray Allens of the world, the big dog Glenn Robinson of the world, Jack Sikma, Terry Cummings, Vin Baker. I'm going to land on Sidney Moncrief.
Sidney Moncrief is second. You said it. You had it. You said it. It's Glenn Robinson. It's the big dog, Glenn Robinson, by about 400 points ahead of Sidney Moncrief, then Michael Redd.
Oh, yeah.
And then Marcus Johnson. That's a brutally tough question. That's a very tough question. That's a tough one. I feel bad for my main man, Vinny, despite his Pistons take of earlier. All right. Speaking of Giannis, I want you to hear Windy yesterday on the prospects of the Cavaliers trading for him.
I don't think you will be long before you start to hear Cavs attached to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Would they consider entering that market? You know, if they put Evan Mobley on the table, as hard as that would be, Evan Mobley is in his mid-20s. When they drafted Evan Mobley, okay, they drafted him to be another Giannis. What if they could turn him into Giannis?
All right, so the question is, you got Windy Big Perk talking about the possibility of Giannis to Cleveland. You're also obviously aware that there is a great deal of conversation about the possibility of LeBron going home to Cleveland. You look like you're already shaking your head no at me. What are your
Because
thoughts?
why, Wendy, is why? Like, it's two things that make my skin crawl.
Okay.
Number one is the drama surrounding Giannis in Milwaukee. Is he going to leave? Do they want to leave? Do he want to get traded? And then the Cavs again. I want to leave them in the past, especially after hearing Kenny Atkinson and Donovan Mitchell and James Harden speak on the microphone, those post-game interviews after shoot-around. You know, Kenny Atkinson said something the other day that was the most asinine thing that I've heard in this postseason. Right, about the analytics. Why would Giannis want to go to that house? It's almost like he's shopping for a crib. Why would you want to go to that house? It looked beautiful on the outside, until you find out when you walk in the inside that the people that lived there before the people that lived there had kids and they had pets. So it stains all over the carpet. And then all of a sudden you realize that you got to change that carpet out before you can even think about buying this house. That's the way I look at Cleveland. Giannis, it's not just the Bucks trading Giannis to somewhere they want to get value back from. They have to do right by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That's what is missing from the calculus here. If the relationship between Giannis and the Bucks is not beyond repair, then you go to your superstar and you say to him, where do you want to go? And usually teams don't trade close in that proximity. If I'm Giannis and I've had the health issues that I've had the past couple of years with the calf and the knee, and I know he sat a little bit this year, I want to go to a team that has a definitive chance to win. And this is going to sound crazy. What about Oklahoma City? Don't they need him as much? No, seriously. With Big Vic there, you need bodies. Like, the price of the brick is going up on
San Antonio.
Giannis.
You meant San Antonio then?
No. He means you got to deal with Victor.
You got to deal with him.
Oh, I thought you said.
And OKC has all the picks in the future.
Here's the one thing.
The draft capital.
Here's the one thing I would throw in, and I'm gonna let you cook. Chemistry is so delicate, and when you talk about teams that are on the brink of contending, chemistry is so delicate. And I think you have to be careful that all superstars don't come with, cool, I'm going to take a step back and slide in. That's all I would add to this conversation. But
the Cleveland of it all, like we just talked about how the teams that lose in the conference finals in the East make it to the finals next year. The Cavs don't feel like that.
No,
they don't feel like they are stand pat and will get there.
They are not close.
How about LeBron? I mean, I'm always interested in your take on LeBron. Could you see him finishing it back where it all began?
I can, but they're going to have to pay him. He's not going to do it for the vet minimum. Right. And that's another problem. I don't understand. Like, I'm going to start calling James Harden a stick-up kid. I've never seen a player that always have an agreement in place before he actually go out there and deliver.
Yeah,
like sticking those, like all of a sudden the news break yesterday is like, oh yeah, the Cavs plan on giving James Harden a contract extension.
It was agreed to before the trade.
Before the trade.
But that is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous, and to me it's premature. Like, it's immature in my opinion for him to do that. But here's the thing, I'm gonna say this. Another team that just closed the door on Giannis Antetokounmpo is the New York Knicks. I don't want to hear anything else about Giannis to New York. You have that chemistry. You have your duo. Let that play out for the next 3 to 4 years with Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns.
I agree with that one. And I am really glad that this group got an opportunity to run it back. I know, Vinny. I know. But to me, the other thing about it, too, as good as Giannis has been, and I take nothing away from him being a top 5 MVP candidate, however long that stretch has been, but the injury that he has doesn't bode well for the style that he plays. I don't know that it's getting better. So are you sure you want to risk your house in the future? I wouldn't.
That he does feel like he's teetering just a little close to being that guy who's always going to be hurt. Now, I'd love for him to prove that wrong. I'd love for him to have a bunch of healthy years and be the dominant player that he was again. But if I were risking my career on it, I'd be nervous about it.
Miami, I would look at them. I
That
think when
makes
I
sense.
What about Detroit? Him and Cade Cunningham.
Detroit has a longer runway, and I don't, like you said, Giannis, I'm not sure how great Giannis is going to be for the long term. You make a deal for Giannis if you know you have a very small window and you want to maximize that window. Detroit has a little bit of a
I
longer
think Detroit will
runway.
have better options. Because we talked about one of the theories on Detroit.
Favorites over the Knicks in the finals. The Knicks have already defied the odds to win the Eastern Conference. But if you watched this show a month ago, you wouldn't be surprised. Mike Greenberg, professional overreactor. I am here today to tell you, after what we saw last night, Mr. Wilbon, that the Knicks have found the formula, and the Celtics, for all of the great story that it is with Tatum coming back and everything, they reminded us they're this team that plays with their food. They lose these ridiculous home games for no reason. The Knicks are going to the finals. What do you think? I said that, for the record, before the series with Atlanta was over, when Boston was ahead of Philadelphia 3-2. From the moment I spoke those words, the New York Knicks have not lost a game, and they've won almost all of them by 30. So here's the way I look at it, Perk. When you're wrong as often as I am, you get to crow about it a little when you had one right and I had this one right.
Great, I like you, though.
Yeah.
I like you.
And I like you, too.
Because you always got to go back to previously on Get Up.
Right.
When you had these moments and you're right. But look, let me tell you something. Everyone keep talking about, the winner of the OKC and Spurs matchup is going to win the NBA Finals. I'm here to tell you, you dead wrong. You dead wrong if you're disrespecting the New York Knicks like this. One, they have a closer, and the best player in the Eastern Conference, Big Body Brunson, is his name. Karl Anthony Towns is looking like a top 5 big on both ends of the floor. And the most important thing that they have that you need to win a championship, a handful of two-way players, a la Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, Landry Shamet, and I can even throw McBride in there now. Like, when you see that togetherness, you see that the way that they coming together, playing a gender-free basketball. Big Mitchell Robinson, hey, boy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Because he has been so locked in. Yes, they're going to continue to hack a Mitch, but the lobs, the block shots, his minutes that he come in, he's playing it with so much spirit and passion. The Knicks are serious. If they get San Antonio, I got the Knicks picked to win this 6. If they get OKC, it's going the distance to 7. I'm going to stick with OKC, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks pull it off.
What do you think, Michael?
One thing to keep in mind, and the Knicks certainly can win this series. Part of this, too, is Oklahoma City and San Antonio are going to Ali Frazier each other.
Yeah.
Right? People are going to need IVs and hospital stays, and then they're going to come into a series.
Absolutely.
And so, the rust versus rust won't matter, because if the Knicks are starting in the West, okay, fine. If they're rusty part or all of game 1, so what?
Right.
We're not talking about starting off at Madison Square Garden, having to play through that. So I think the Knicks very much can win this series.
Greeny, I got a question for you, because you are a long-suffering New Yorker.
Yeah.
Is the Knicks season to date already a success, or do you need to see them complete this and win a championship before you deem this a success? If someone would have told you in October and said, deal or no deal, the Knicks make the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999, and that's where it ends. Do you take that, or do you take your chances?
Let me answer that for you.
Yeah.
I asked
I'm phoning a friend.
We
We tied together like shoelaces. We won.